I've made you some holiday homework. I hope you're excited by that. It's not compulsory, of course. How could it be? You're having some holiday, lots of holiday, or not much holiday at all. So I understand you may or may not get to it, but I think there's some value in it for you. I think there's some joy in it for you, right? It's the end of the year. We're probably all doing a bit of reflecting. Right? You've got a bit of time off. You're probably going to be thinking about next year. It's kind of traditional, isn't it? New Year's resolutions and all that stuff. So while you're thinking about what you want for the year ahead, I've made a kind of a guided process for you. So feel free to watch this. I'm kind of hoping there's a worksheet for you to print out and write stuff on. I'm kind of hoping and imagining that you'll watch or listen to this on YouTube or on the podcast while you're going about your day or driving or whatever, and have a think, and then maybe come back to it and do some writing and planning, maybe on your own, maybe with your partner, right? So that's kind of what I've got in mind. So I don't really expect you to sit down and take notes and all that. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, right? I've made the fun sheet this time, not the worksheet. And in January, when we get back, we'll spend a bit of time together, either in the group or in some one-on-ones, looking at what decisions you've made and what goals you've set yourself. So I'm going to try and get you to do 4 things, right? Reflect, refocus, recommit, and relaunch, which I've pinched from my business coach. So reflect, right? Remember the importance of noting your achievements and your progress in 2024. I know that you, like me, are often very focused on what you need to do, and it's important and helpful for you to look a little bit back and recognize what you've achieved, right? Recognize and notice what all this hard work you've been putting in has done for you, right? So what's gone well or improved this year? What are your wins? What are your achievements? What have you improved even a bit? What progress have you made? So reaching for my fun sheets here, right? I've made a bit of space on the worksheet. What are your achievements? I've left you some blank space. And then for some specifics, let's talk money. Let's think about some of the things we're trying to improve with our coaching. How are these things compared to a year ago? How's the money? Okay, I've left you a gap for the money, but how's revenue? How's the gross margins? How's your net profit margin? How's your cash flow? How are your debt levels? How's your personal financial situation? How's your take home, your take out of the business going? Have a think about those. If you don't know them now, maybe go and measure them. Maybe ask someone to measure them for you. Let's not make this too much hard work. What about stress? How's your stress? How's your feeling of being in control, which is I'm calling stress, right? If you feel in control, you're probably not too stressed. And if you don't feel like everything's under control, you might be stressed. So how's your feeling of being in control of the situation, the work situation? How's your organization functioning? How well do things flow? How does it kind of go? Do things get dropped? Do balls get dropped? Or do things generally go quite well? And last one, how are your working hours? How many hours are you working? And how are those of your team? Is everybody having to work very hard, or is it all under control? Right. And also, let's go around the triangle. How have these things progressed or improved? How's your marketing going compared to a year ago? Is it better? Is it producing more leads? Is it working better? Are they better leads? Do you know, is it costing you more or less money to get those leads? How's sales? How's that going? Are you winning more jobs than you're used to? Are you winning them at higher margins? Are you being more professional? Is your conversion rate better, your win rate of them? Okay, let's talk operations. How's that going? How are the jobs going? How are your defects and callbacks? How's that occurring? How well does it work? How much are you needed in the jobs to make, in order to make sure they go well? What about the back office? How's that going? Are you measuring? Are you complying? Are you managing cash flow? Is cash flow okay? Are you understanding profitability? I think quite importantly, with the back office, are you out of it as much as you could be? Let's look at you. How are you doing? Well, I've talked about stress and things. So how are you doing in terms of time spent working on your business? How are you doing in terms of managing your working hours and managing your stress and managing your tiredness? How are you doing in terms of looking after yourself and having some fun and having some time for you? And then the last one, how's your team? How's morale? How's culture? How's everybody feeling? How's everybody performing? Okay, what unfinished projects are there? What projects have you started this year that are unfinished, right? That you probably should finish. And then the next one, what projects did you not get to this year? What did you hope to get to this year, but you didn't get to it? You didn't even do it, right? I've written those down as didn't even start projects. Have you got any of those? So there you go, a little bit of a status assessment for yourself. Now, it wasn't meant to be long, right? Now let's do the refocus part. Let's think about what you want moving forward. If you spend a little bit of time on reflecting on how 2024 went, you might next like to think about how you would like 2025 to go, mightn't you? You've got your 3-year vision statement, haven't you, and your strategy? Have a look at it again, right? And re-engage with it. Is it still what you want? Does it need any updating? Do the numbers in it need any updating? For most of you, when I ask you this question, it's still what you want. So I'm going to work on that assumption. If it's still what you want and it doesn't really need any updating, except maybe the numbers, then great, right? It remains the thing you're driving towards, but it might still be a 2 or 3 year vision statement. Are you any closer to it, that goal, than you were when you started the coaching, when you wrote it? Now, I'm going to ask you to do 2 things in a minute, right? One is make a vision board for the next 3 years out or so. And the next one is to make one for 2025. What do you want? What do you want to achieve? And what do you think is realistic in 2025? Now, have a bit of fun with this, right? I called it a fun sheet on purpose. The vision board, I'm intending for you to think a bit beyond business, right? Business is involved because it's important, but it's not the only thing. What do you want for yourself and your partner and your family and your life for the next 3 years and for 2025? So have a bit of fun with that. Maybe do it with your partner. Is it money? Is it toys? Is it holidays? Is it experiences? Is it situations, right? For you, your family, your business, maybe even your team. And then do the same for 2025. Now, I reckon brainstorm and write words on the fun sheet. And there's a lot of power in making it visual. So if you want to go and cut out or print out pictures that represent those things you want, do that separately. And think, how do you want 2025 to be different? You know, how do you want the money to be? How do you want the revenue to be, the gross margin, the net margin, the cash flow, your debt? How do you want your hours to be? How do you want your stress to feel? How many holidays do you want? How do you want your team to be? How do you want the triangle to be? You've thought about what progress you've made, what projects you've got unfinished, and you've thought about what you want to achieve for 2025. Now we're going to do a little bit of a planning video. And I've put these as 2 separate videos so they feel smaller and less overwhelming. Now you have an idea of how you want 2025 to go.